Victor,
Steffi.
so nice to see you again.
Yes, it's been a while.
After this weekend,
Yes.
I followed a tip from you and I went to the cinema
Oh,
and I watched one battle after another.
how did you like it?
It was so boring.
What?
It was so boring. It was literally one battle after another.
Oh, well, you liked F1, right?
3/4.
Yeah, we have different movie preferences, very clearly.
After having a disagreement on this, maybe we start rolling the intro.
Wow.
Wow Happens with Stephanie Hitchens and Victor Kumzik.
On today's episode of Wow Happens, we talk about teleprompters and why they are very important and how you can struggle a lot if you don't have one, about private equity on YouTube and what this implies for current channels and maybe how it looks in the future. And lastly, we have some tips on how to move things around faster.
So let's just jump right into it. Like, you had another experience on the weekend, right?
It was not a movie experience, but I tried to record something myself, something not for the public, but like just privately. And
Victor does this a lot.
I mean, like, I usually don't record myself in front of the camera. I wanted to do a message for my girlfriend, and I decided I wanted to do a funny thingy. This was actually intended to be funny.
I think this says so much about your relationship with your girlfriend that you communicate in fake YouTube videos.
Yeah, but I like doing this kind of stuff. I've been doing like for every while a couple of these sort of like talking to the camera videos, not with myself, but other people and whatnot. And I decided, yeah, let's do one at home. Let's see what I learned. Let's see if I can get a little bit of that beamy magic in and get a good image. But the thing was, I had a little script written, and I don't have a teleprompter at home. And we use a teleprompter, not for the podcast, obviously. We're talking freely here. But like when we do this talking head interview type of thingies, we usually have a teleprompter for the clients. They read off it. They usually use their own scripts, right? And I didn't have that, and I'd realized how hard it is to actually say something in front of the camera without a teleprompter. It was unbelievably difficult.
It's so difficult, right?
Oh my God.
So difficult.
I could not get a single sentence out. I had on my phone, and I was looking at the sentence like, okay, and I looked in the camera, I said half the sentence like, okay, what was the, and it just, my brain would not save a full sentence. I just couldn't do it. It was insane. So I started taking the iPad, right, and I jerry-rigged it with a magic arm to the camera, like underneath the lens and to the side of the lens. And I even tried it above the lens, but it doesn't work because if you don't look into the center of the void, which is the black hole in the lens, you can see that you're not looking into the camera. Yeah. It doesn't work. You have to look in there. And it's in the end, I had to sort of memorize it and do a little bit of a freehand talking. But man, I did not know.
This is so difficult, right?
So difficult. It's so, it was, and I thought it was like, she's out of the house. I'm going to record a 15 minutes funny clip for her because she was gone with her girlfriends over the weekend. I'm going to record something funny for her. And yeah. Then afterwards, I'm going to work on my YouTube videos. But no, I spent like 2 or 3 hours on that thing. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, in the end, it was funny. She liked it. So guess you can say it's a success. Killed my Saturday afternoon, but I guess it worked.
Nice. Hey, do we want to get into our wow dive of the week?
Sure. What is it?
Do I now need to start? I thought you give me. I think we should talk about private equity on YouTube.
All right.
Do you have any clue about it?
Yes. You once showed it to me, and I did watch one video about it. I'm trying to summarize it, and you can correct me if I got it right or wrong. But basically,
just do it quickly.
Okay. So basically, some of the more prominent YouTube channels these days are actually partially owned by private equity. So I think Veritasium is an example. I think Fern or Hoog, whatever it is called, is also part of that. And the idea is basically that former YouTube or like YouTube channel owners, right? They sell, let's say, 49% of their channel to one of these private equity companies. I'm not sure if selling is the right word, but then they fund or give additional funds and structure and people to actually support the channel and to grow it together with the creator. So it's still the majority is still owned by the person who made the channel or by the people who made the channel. But there is an additional company there to support it, which will obviously also take part in the revenue and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be by definition 49%.
Yeah, that was just a number like to sort of like.
Like, yeah, you sell part of the ownership of your YouTube channel to a company, and then the promise they basically give you is that you need to do less, that you, as a creator, that you burn out less, that you enjoy the good life of being a YouTube creator without the hassle, and then you make like way more videos, and you will be super successful and way more successful than you have been before. And I think it's like really interesting because they have like some definitions, like or some minimum requirements. Like they don't care how many followers you have.
They don't?
No, they don't.
Oh.
They really don't. Like what they care about is that what is the EBITDA. So like how much money you make with your YouTube
What's
channel.
the word that you just used?
EBITDA.
EBITDA.
It's like earnest before interest and taxes and all these other words which I forgot what they are in English. And so basically the idea is, yeah, how much money do you make? And they say like you need to make at least 100K
Per
year. And then you are a creator which is interesting for them to invest in. And what they say is that, yeah, okay, so we will help you grow your channel, or depending on the style of the agreement, they also take over your complete channel. Like I heard that they don't like, in quotes, like this so much because it has more risks for them, and they prefer like this half ownership with you together as a creator. So that you are still, for example, the host or the voice of the channel, but you don't need to take care of anything else anymore. And I think one of the great examples is Veritasium, right? Derek Mulder, who sold like, I think like 3 years by now ago, his YouTube channel Veritasium, obviously in a 50-50, kind of 50-50 agreement. Like the numbers are unknown, right? We don't know, like, do they own 60, 40, 98, 2, whatever. And he's still active, and but there are now other hosts of Veritasium shows. So I think it's actually a really nice example because I feel like they kept a lot what made Veritasium actually good, and at the same time they really scaled it. But there's also another example. Do you know Donut Media?
Never heard of.
Never heard of?
No.
It's like it's a car channel, car enthusiasts channel, and it basically fell completely apart. Like everyone left who was there of the original team.
But this is also a channel that private equity
took over.
Took over, like completely, or just?
I don't know the details because it's I think it's not public, but like there are now a lot of new channels of people who used to work at Donut Media.
The BuzzFeed effect, I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So I guess Donut Media still exists. Like I'm not watching this like regularly, but it's probably like a complete different content style than it used to be. But yeah, so like this is the thing. Like if you have a successful YouTube channel or as a watcher, user of YouTube, like if you are watching a big YouTube channel, expect that there's kind of like a media company behind it or a private equity or something like this. And it's not the independent YouTuber you see in front of the camera.
Or they made it themselves. I mean, Linus Media Group, which, media company, Linus Media Group should, give you a hint on what's happening. Like he built a full-on media company to support all their channels, right? And the whole business structure. They do everything themselves. I don't think that he has like private equity or anything like this.
No,
Do
I
you?
think not. Yeah, but who knows? But maybe he has some investors. I don't know. But like you don't need to disclose this, right?
Yeah.
So like we really don't know. And probably with his badminton hall, he also builds on the side.
He built a badminton hall.
Oh, you didn't know this?
No.
Oh, okay. Yes, he built a LAN party / badminton hall next to his media business, and I'm pretty sure he has some kind of investors, but who knows? But anyway, yeah, like presumably they do everything themselves, but they also like. Do you remember like a year ago, like they closed quite a lot of YouTube channels?
Linus
MAC
Media Group?
address.
Oh, really? They closed MAC address? I haven't watched his videos in a very long time. I'm very sorry. I'm not up to date. For the other people who are also not up to date, Linus Tech Tips, which is like the main channel, is like one of the biggest, maybe the second biggest tech channel on YouTube. It's like very, very big in the tech space. Right?
Yes, and he had like, or they had a lot of other channels, and now they only have short circuit and LTT.
Wow.
But then you also have like Marcus Brownlee, right? Like who clearly has his own studio and does his own things, and like with like 10, 15, 20 people by now, I guess.
I think it above 10 for sure. I'm not sure how many, but yeah, he's growing as well.
But it's like there's a lot of risk, right? Like in doing it yourself, or like you're the only owner of a channel, because you have the key man problem. You know exactly what I mean, right?
Yeah. Like, I mean, like MKBHD is a prime example for this. Like Linus Tech Tips, I'm not sure how, like, again, I'm not watching the videos as much anymore as I used to, but I'm not sure how often like Linus is actually the main host of the Linus Tech Tips channel. Tech Tips. Did I say Tech Tubes? Linus Tech Tips channel. And for MKBHD or Marcus Brownlee, I think it's only him in the main channel. He has two other channels, the Autofocus it's called. There, I think I forgot his name, but he has somebody else who also does videos on that channel from his team, obviously. And then there's the Studio channel, like which is called the Studio. And there the entire staff basically makes videos. And he's sort of a let's call him
a guest star.
A guest star in that channel, right? But in his main channel, it's him, right? And people who want to watch MKBHD videos want to watch him. They want to see or hear his opinion. Even though, as far as I know, or I think, he doesn't write all of the scripts for his... Because David does that, which is like one of the main writers of this channel, right? So, but people expect a certain face. It's like with TV shows, or let's call them late night shows in the past, or current still. You tune in to see a specific person talk about topics that are interesting to you, right? And if you change that person, you can actually jeopardize the channel, right? Because people are used to one particular person. For example, at Veritasium, that seems to be working, right? Because private equity has, expanded his business, and he's no longer in front of the camera all the time, but his co-hosts, if you want to call them that, they do a pretty good job.
Yeah, there are multiple, right? Like in case of Veritasium. And this is maybe also something private equity is why it's good for the creator, because it really forces you to do this, to scale your channel so that you are not the only host.
Yeah.
And yeah, you said you are not sure if Linus is basically in every video. He is in every video.
Still?
Yes. He's not alone. Like clearly there are others who do a lot in the back, but he is on the main channel. I think he's really in every video. And on the secondary channel, like the short circuit channel, they're not. But like, yeah, it's like really hard to scale if you are the only one, because these hosts, I guess they also want to have a lot of money. If you are a host of a channel with like 50 million subscribers, you want to have a lot of money to show your face.
Yeah, take the example from Hot Ones, right?
Yeah, exactly. I forgot his name, but but yeah, exactly. he basically pressured them into giving him a better contract because he's
Yeah.
not the owner of the channel,
Yeah.
but he's the face of the channel.
Yeah.
So maybe if Hot Ones, which is also owned by a media company, maybe they should have taken more from the private equity playbook and have multiple hosts there. So basically, if you look at the history, like we have the first wave of successful YouTubers who basically did it themselves, right? Like they were in their whatever living room, office, or closet, and made like content from there. And then like they came like in 2012, 2013, something like this. They came these media companies, and you had like BuzzFeed and Vox and also in the beginning The Verge, which by now for many years is owned by Vox, and where you basically have these channels where there are multiple hosts on that are basically on the paywall of the company. And now the new version of this is like, I would say like twofold. And number one is like, yeah, you as a creator, you build your own business around it. Like you make like the Marcus Brownlee version, right? Like you make or the Linus Tech Tips version. You make your own media company, your own little media company. And like maybe you do it like Johnny Harris, like with his wife together, Lizzie Harris, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who one of them does the business and the other one does the creative. And then you start employing people and you scale and you scale and you scale and you make it work. Or at one point you sell to private equity. And the promise they give you is, hey, you can concentrate on the things that you actually really like.
The creative part.
The creative part
Content.
or the talking part or nothing, if you like nothing. And we run the rest for you. So like we do the sponsorship, so we make sure the financials work. We have our playbook, how to do this, how to find the right people, how to like some of them probably central functions. Some of them you do in your small team, but you get like probably like McDonald's franchise. You get the manual how to flip burgers just to do sponsorships, something like this. And from there, you are put on a fast track for growth. So this is what we can see, like especially in these YouTube channels that are owned by Electrify. This is Veritasium or Fern, Hawk, Simplicity, Hook, whatever. They push out so many more videos now because they have the resources. And if they push out videos, the theory is, or the hypothesis is, it will grow.
But as we spoke in our last episode, which we don't know if that actually went out or not, or if this one comes afterwards, we talk about the publishing schedule and if more is actually better. But yeah, sorry, I just...
No, it's okay. And yeah, the question is more is better? And the other thing is, hey, yeah, like if you have a central entity, the danger is that more and more it looks the same.
Yeah.
And I think this is something very interesting to see in this Electrify conglomerate. I don't know. Conglomerate. Because like I'm not sure how the ownership of this is, but they now have a Blender rendering farm, which they sell separately.
I mean, a Fern, right?
Yeah, not only Fern, like Hawk. Like he actually made an advertising video for this like last week or 2 weeks ago or something like this, where he explicitly only sells the rendering farm. And so basically they have a software as a service, or like where you upload your Blender projects and then they say, no one is as fast as we are, and you get back your rendered Blender files very fast. And yeah, I think this is I don't know, but I guess this is another thing they identified. Hey, all our channels use Blender, so we make a Blender rendering farm, which then fuels into, they will even look more like Blender and similar animations. Like there was a Veritasium video about escalators and the history of escalators. It was really fascinating. I thought it was a really nice video. Did you see it?
Nope.
On the one hand, you had the drawn, the cartoony style of Veritasium, but on the other hand, they also had like 3D animations of how escalators work.
Where did that come?
Where did this come from? And so like the things start to look more and more similar because this is how you make scale.
Yeah. I mean, it's not too dissimilar, or actually not at all, to traditional media. And like if you're a band and then you, I don't know, work with a label and the label has a studio, you're going to record in the same studio. Maybe you all have the same producer. Maybe songs or structures or the recording procedures is the same, and maybe you will hear similarities or sort of the same kind of production vibe across different artists, different albums. Yeah, it's optimizing, right? I mean, private equity or the companies behind it, they want to make it as efficient as possible, to spend as little amount of time and money as possible to create the most amount of content or impact or whatever you want to call it. It makes sense, but like you said, it could end up being actually, everything starts to look and sound a little bit similar.
Any idea what could be alternatives to this, or is it basically
Inevitable?
Thank you.
I only know this word because of Avengers, because of what Thanos said.
Another movie series we are not agreeing on, which is cool.
Please don't tell me you did not like. Like, if you don't like Marvel right now, I can understand it. I'm not the biggest fan either. Well, Fantastic Four First Steps were actually pretty cool. But like until Endgame, that's a historic moment in movie history.
I think they lost me at Iron Man 2.
Oh, God.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
that's a different episode. What they could do different. Like, I mean, you already laid out the two options, or the ones that are currently at least exist. Either you do it yourself, the risk is inherently higher. You basically invest all of your money, time, and whatnot, and you need to make sure that things work. Or you take expertise from people who are like have industry experience in it. But while you were talking before, I also thought that long term, right? You don't really know if this private equity actually, will work out or not. It's an experiment for them and for the channel owners, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think like we have seen like the channel owner takes the full risk and the channel owner splits the risk half. And like these are the two. And the channel owner has no risk at all, right? This is the employment case.
Oh yeah, the bus, but that already sort of failed.
That already failed. This we now already failed. But I see like this private equity. It looks to me more and more like, they will all look the same, and that's a problem. Yeah. And with look, I mean like also the storytelling style is the same, and
it's kind of like how movies are today. Everything starts to look a little bit the same because they're trying to be more efficient.
Yeah, and maybe then someone needs to come with a A24 approach for YouTube creators.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, just give them money, say do whatever you want.
Okay, dear audience, it was nice. We need to go to work.
Let's call our Wow 24. Right? W24. 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 We need t-shirts, we need social media campaigns just to make ourselves look really cool and trendy.
I have the feeling that probably W24 is somewhere an address in New York, in Manhattan, which is like close to Billionaires Row. I don't know.
And the killer aspect here, I know A24 doesn't do this, but we need from now on, if it's a W24 production, YouTube, it has to be recorded on film, to exponentially blow the budget out of the water. But we can say that we record in YouTube on film, Who does this?
Yeah, who does this? Maybe this is also a good moment to finish up this episode and come to our wows.
Yes, www. You have a www?
What are yours?
Mine? Something really small, actually. If you want to move from Spotify to Apple Music, like a couple of years ago, I did that. Like I've been using Apple Music for like 5 years or so.
And it was a mess, right?
It was a mess because there was no like direct way to move your library or your playlists over. So I used third-party tools. And on the weekend, I discovered that one of my playlists, which I wanted to listen to, was actually empty. So I was really bummed out at first.
Basically, you did a transfer of this stuff like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And now you wanted to listen to old music or music you have already long in your library. And now you figured out it wasn't there.
Yeah. Imagine that 5 years later, you realized, music is missing. And so it's like, oh, crap, what do I do, right? And then I thought like, I log into Spotify because I'm sure the stuff is still there. And it was still there, right? But in the past, when I initially did this, I used a third-party app or a third-party service where I had to log into Spotify and grant it permission and log into Apple Music and grant it permission. And then it would sort of like move the music over, right? And now it's actually built into Apple Music. You just go to the settings. There's some function like transfer your music library or something like this. Then you can select Spotify, also Deezer, and I think some other ones. And then you can just select the playlist. So I just selected the playlist and it was there. I could delete the one I had. I don't know. Something happened positively in Apple Music, which I think is not something that happens a lot, right?
Yeah, and actually my wow goes in a similar direction, but where it still doesn't work so well is like migrating from different storage providers like Google Drive. But there's a small little software that runs on your own Mac. It's called CyberDuck. And this, it's actually really amazing. Because you probably know like these syncing clients of Google Drive and OneDrive and Dropbox and whatnot. And they, by now in macOS, they all use the cloud storage provider. And it's all a little bit unclear what they are actually doing. Like, does it sync now?
Google Drive hangs up your computer. Like it freezes, like you do have a lot of transfer. It just freezes your system.
Yeah, or like OneDrive is even worse. And like the CyberDuck thing, okay, it doesn't do this transparent file syncing, but it does like you can download files and you can download big files and it does multiple connections and it downloads these files like in chunks and combines them afterwards, and it's like super fast. Like I actually just downloaded something before this episode, or probably my computer is still downloading. But it downloaded with 120 megabyte per second from OneDrive. This is like really fast for OneDrive. And you can see it and you get like a progress bar. And if it breaks, you can restart and all these things. And yeah, so it's really nice software done in Bern, by the way.
In Bern? Like
in Bern,
Switzerland?
It's a Swiss software from Bern. And they also have like a transparent file system version of it, but it's not going so well because like there are some limitations in macOS, which makes it not run so nicely. But the CyberDuck client is really nice. And with this,
we're done.
We are done.
Let's say thank you so much for watching. Tune in next week for the next episode. And yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
See you. Bye.